Okay, day one for CES. I had a meeting at 12:30 at the Bellagio with Be Quiet. Be Quiet always been super supportive of the channel, so I was excited to meet them. A little nervous, but excited. I was staying at the Mandalay Bay, which is completely south on the strip, so I decided to walk to the Bellagio just to see a little of the strip. But there's nothing on the other side. I discovered an underground mall like the last day I was there, but basically the walk from the Bellagio to the Luxor to New York is basically empty on the other side. You just have the Three Giant Hotel, but there's also a tramway that is free that go between the three hotels if you need. But I end up walking there until my appointment at 12:30, grab a coffee and wait a little, and then I went up to the suite after I messaged them. There was a couple of people there from different channels and things like that. I was impressed also by the number of product that they had of new product they announced. They show like the Pure Loop AIO LCD. So you had like a couple of AIO that now have LCD screen. They show the Dark Rock Series 6. They had a computer mouse. So they had a lot of product there and a two power supply that's not going up to 1200 watts because they were mentioning that like some people prefer having a highest voltage PSU, so this way it stay quiet and it's very efficient. So they were there. So we walked with the engineer. They presented some of the product, the design, philosophy behind them, and what they're hoping to get out like in April this year. So they were super like relaxed and helpful. Also got the best swag. They gave a computer like a large computer mouse mat that they made their special edition that they say they wouldn't produce anymore. So it was good to see all the products. So let's do a quick tour of the booth and let's talk about the new product they have.
Like I mentioned, the Be Quiet suite was at the Bellagio. So I walked it there, and for all CES, I could not see the Fontaine uh, show being displayed, but it is a very nice hotel. So welcome to the Bellagio suite for Be Quiet at CES 2026. We can see here all the new product that they will show during this tour. So the first two product I saw there was the Pure Power 2 and the Pure Power M at 1200 watt. Be Quiet were mentioning that like some people prefer a highest voltage CPU because it will run cooler and quieter because it will maybe only be at 40 or 30% load. I have the 1000 watt version of that PSU, and now you can see that it's a 1200 watt and it's also still cybernetics gold. So that was the first product I saw there. There was also a light base 500 LX, which is my computer case right now, but with three fan at the bottom. So I spent a little time looking how they set it up, and you can see no GPU there, so it look way cleaner this way. You have the black version of the case there, and one of the employee mentioning how you prefer it versus the light base 600 because the panel can be removed so quick. And it's true, in 1 second you can remove the panel, which I really appreciate on that case. We can also see here that the footprint of the light base 600 it's quite larger than the light base 500. Then they were showing their Dark Rock Pro 6. You could see the LCD version here, and also you had a non-LCD version. You can see here that it displayed the temperature, but they were saying you could use the IO software to change what you want to track. And the case, like I said, is the light base 500, but in black. The prototype with the screen was a 4.5-inch screen, and here you can see the two cooler without the screen. The next product was the Light Loop AIO LCD. Now you can see the temperature displayed on the screen. and they added compared to the regular light loop. And you can see the screen here and the AIO out of the case. Though very curious about this one and the price point. They also had a table where you could see the dark rock, all the layer that make the case. So that was super interesting to see. Now a product that I really didn't expect is the dark Ego Perk and Sym of their mouse. Didn't really expect gaming mouse from Be Quiet, but they already did a keyboard, so that makes sense. Those were prototype. They say that the mouse were only 55 gram, so and they will be soon on the market. And they were showing us the cable, so they made it with an angle, so you could not rub the cable and it stay in the air while you use the mouse.
So, what did I thought of the Be Quiet in Suite presentation for the CES 2026? I think they have a lot of interesting product. The thing that's interesting is that, of course, LCD on AIO or on cooler has been a big trend in the last couple of years. Sometimes you feel company are aiming to do more than that, and not necessarily like cooling is the second priority, like LCD first, because you can sell them like it's a good marketing point and it's attractive for the user. So I'm curious what Be Quiet will do in the space because I'm assuming that the cooler will perform as well as they normally do, but they will have the bonus to have the LCD screen on them. Also, they said they would use the IO software that I already use from my keyboard. And what's interesting is that, yeah, you can install the Windows app, but there's a web app to configure some of the feature and don't need to run an app on your computer if you don't want. So I like that they will continue using this option. What I'm curious about is going to be the price point because Thermal Right basically undercut everyone with AIO and like cooler like the Peerless Assassin. So I'm assuming that like Bitcoin will continue to be in the premium space for AIO and cooler price wise, but I expect a cooler with LCD that would be good quality, but like the cooler will perform like really well. It's just that I'm curious how they're gonna price it because I don't expect that they will competition with necessarily thermal right for getting the lowest price possible. But it is like the space change because now you can get an AIO for like $75 Canadian or a PLS Assassin for 40. So it's a different space now they're releasing those products. For the Dark Rock 6, it will depend on the performance. I had the Dark Rock 5 Pro. It performed well, it's just that it was like 2.5 times more than the Fearless Assassin for 40 that I have. So it was in a weird space. The Pure Loop performed super well as AIO, so that if you just put the LCD on it, I think that lies to definitively fine. I'm curious about the mouse, but I'm not playing really competitively um, shooters and things like that. So having a super light mouse would be interesting, but and I want to test it, but I don't think for me it will make a big change. As for the power supply with 1200 watts now, of course we're getting closer to the 1500 watt limit in North America, but I understand the idea. Say, well, I want to have some leeway, and like right now, I have like a 5070 Ti I just bought. It takes 300 watt. My 265K from Intel take 300 watt also. So I'm already at 600 watt on the 1000 watt that I have, and I'm already like, oh wow, okay, I have leeway, but it's still running at 60% of capacity. So the idea you could get like a 1200 watt that would like run quieter would be very attractive for me. So I'm very curious to see like what will be their next product during the year and having a chance to test them. So hopefully when they release, we'll have a chance to look at them. Thanks for watching.